Hello everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Flick News, the show here on Flick Direct where I give you guys the latest happening in entertainment news throughout the week, and then I give you all my personal take on the matter at hand. I'm your host, Austin Putnam, and this week was a pretty big week in terms of a couple things that happened this week, but unfortunately, guys, there's one particular thing that happened this week that I must get into, and it's unfortunately a big pass that happened for a very big singer that was also a terrific actress, and her name is Tina Turner. Now, of course, in case if you guys don't know who Tina Turner is, I mean, if you're a massive Bond fan, you will all know that she did the theme for, GoldenEye, for God's sakes. GoldenEye is easily in my top 5 favorite Bond themes of all time. In case if you guys happen to be Mad Max fans, Tina Turner was also in Beyond Thunderdome, which, while it may not be my favorite Mad Max movie, it's probably my least favorite of all the Mad Max movies. It is still a fun Mad Max film nonetheless. Tina Turner, to say the least, was just a gifted actress, a gifted singer. I mean, this woman was just a gifted individual all around. Of course, I did not know her personally, but to her closest family and her closest friends, my deepest condolences, because the entertainment industry lost a giant out there, and you know what? May she rest in peace. I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite films of this year is John Wick Chapter 4, seriously. John Wick Chapter 4, I thought, was an absolutely incredible action epic, a film that somehow, in a franchise that just keeps topping itself, although I do think that John Wick Chapter 2 might be the weakest one, even though I love every single one of them, but John Wick Chapter 4 was just an odyssey of action epicness that every time I have seen it, it just gets better and better and better. And for a movie that's almost 3 hours long, it just goes by that pace so breathlessly. And if you guys have seen the film, you probably have an idea of how the movie ends. Lionsgate apparently does not see it that way, because Lionsgate wants, and apparently, guys, get this, John Wick Chapter 5 is currently in the works. Now, here is what I can say about this. How is John Wick Chapter 5 going to happen when, did Lionsgate see how John Wick Chapter 4 ended? For those of you who haven't seen Chapter 4, do not worry, I will not spoil the ending, but for those of you who have seen the film, there's a pretty clear indication of, well, the ending of a person in the movie. If there's an idea of where they could possibly take a Chapter 5, I'd be down, but they have to really think of an idea given how the ending of Chapter 4 happened. But hey, you know what? Bring on Chapter 5 if there is a plausible way to have the story continue. I'd be down for it. Stranger things have happened. I'm excited, but you know what? I want things to happen with Chapter 4, but if Chapter 5 does happen, you know what? I'm curious to see what they do. One of my most anticipated movies of the entire year is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I cannot tell you guys just how excited I am for this movie. I mean, knowing how much I loved Mission Impossible Fallout, my expectations of this movie are at such a sky high, and plus just the Mission Impossible franchise, I feel like ever since Mission Impossible 3 has just been consistently great, and each film has only gotten better and better. The latest trailer for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning looked absolutely amazing, and apparently, guys, get this, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is supposedly the longest film of the franchise, and from what I've been hearing, it is currently clocked in, from what I've been hearing, between 2 hours and 30 minutes to a whopping 2 hours and 40 minutes. And you know what? All I'm going to say is this. If the movie is as great as Fallout is, I do not care how long this movie is. All I want is a great story, great action, everything else. And you can give me a 3-hour action epic with Tom Cruise doing his Running Man motion throughout the streets of wherever he is. I'm insanely hyped. Bring on Mission Impossible. Light up the fuse. I do apologize if this was more of an update more than anything else, but it was an update I really wanted to share because I'm just that excited for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Bring on Part 1. That's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Please comment on the snow below starting off. How do you feel about Tina Turner passing away? What was your favorite song of hers? And finally, where does GoldenEye rank? Well, not finally, but where does GoldenEye rank in your top 5 or even a top 10 Bond themes? How do you guys feel about John Wick Chapter 5 happening? And finally, how do you guys feel about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning being the longest one of the franchise? Let us know below. I hope you all enjoyed this week's show. If so, please hit that like button, also share, and don't forget the subscribe button and the notification bell for our latest new show goes live. If you guys want to see our previous 2 new shows, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until our next week's new show goes live, we'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful week, guys. Hit like, smash subscribe, and get notified for when our reviews, interviews, and news go live.